Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Gitasha Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 26th of June. Indian Prime Minister interacts with top CEOs and Indian diaspora in United States. Death toll from oil tanker explosion in Pakistan rises to over 150. And Muslims across South Asia celebrate Eid al-Fitr. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the Indian community in the United States, where he talked about terrorism and how a change has been brought in the lives of Indians across the globe. The Prime Minister is currently on a two-day visit to the US as a part of his three-nation tour.
During the second leg of his three-nation tour, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday addressed the Indian diaspora. He assured that under his regime he will fulfill all dreams they have for their motherland. The Prime Minister also addressed the issue of terrorism while highlighting the success of surgical strikes against terror havens along the line of control. He added that India succeeded to make the world understand how terrorism is trying to destroy it.
हमारी सॉवरेनिटी के लिए, हमारी सुरक्षा के लिए, हमारे जन सामान्य की सुख शांति और प्रगति के लिए कठोर से कठोर कदम उठाने का सामर्थ्य रखते हैं और जब भी जरूरत पड़ी लेते रहे हैं और दुनिया हमें कभी भी रोक नहीं सकती है। ये भारत का बुद्धि धन, भारत का ये अनुभव धन जो आज विश्व में फैला हुआ है, मैं उनको भी निमंत्रित देता हूं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also lauded the proactive approach of Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj, stating that the Foreign Ministry has emerged as a strong humanitarian force for Indians globally. He had earlier interacted with 20 top American CEOs at a roundtable meeting in Washington, D.C., and talked about various topics ranging from the Goods and Services Tax or GST bill, technology and India's economy. Prime Minister Modi also met United States President Donald Trump and became the first world leader to have a working dinner with the President at the White House.
Moving on to news from Pakistan, Prime Minister of Pakistan Nawaz Sharif on Monday expressed sorrow over the loss of lives in an oil tanker fire in eastern Punjab province. Death toll rose to more than 150 in the horrific incident.
Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif on Monday visited victims injured by the fuel tanker fire after flying home from a trip to London. Television footage showed Sharif standing by the bedsides of victims and handing out compensation checks. Sharif has promised that an inquiry will be carried out.
सबसे पहले तो दिली हमदर्दी का इजहार करता हूँ उन तमाम शहीदों के लवाहिकीन से, उनके घर वालों से, उनके पसमानदगान से और वरसा से। अल्लाह ताला उनको शहीदों को अपने जवार रहमत में जगह अता फरमाए और अल्लाह ताला उनके वरसा पसमानदगान को सब्र जमील अता फरमाए।
The tragedy took place when an oil tanker fully loaded with 50,000 litres of petrol skidded off the road after its tire burst on a highway in Bahawalpur district of Pakistan's eastern Punjab province. An explosion occurred as people gathered to collect leaking fuel after the oil tanker overturned, killing more than 150 and injuring over 100 persons. The oil tanker driver who survived has been detained to assist in the investigation, but early reports did not indicate human error, provincial authorities said.
In news from Afghanistan, the governor of Afghanistan's northern Balkh province has called on the government to bring reforms to its institutions, including security bodies.
Atta Mohammad Noor, the executive director of Jamiat-e-Islami political party and the governor of Northern Balkh province, called on the Afghan government to bring reforms in military and civilian institutions. Delivering Eid message in Mazar-e Sharif on Sunday, Noor warned that he, along with his political allies, will mobilize hundreds of thousands of people if no action is taken by the government. A number of Balkh residents who attended the Eid al-Fitr prayer ceremony said stability and peace in the country were their greatest wish. A number of Balkh residents who attended the Eid al-Fitr prayer ceremony said stability and peace in the country were their greatest wish. Following the May 31 truck bombing in capital Kabul that killed over 150 people, angered residents have been holding sit-in demonstrations. They have questioned the lack of security in the country.
Meanwhile, scores of Afghans held a demonstration in central London against Pakistan's campaign of cross-border terrorism in the country and the border areas.
Scores of Afghans took part in a protest march in central London against Pakistan for sponsoring terrorism and creating instability in their country. They accused Pakistan, especially its armed forces and inter-services intelligence or the ISI, of promoting a willful campaign of cross-border terrorism in the region and the border areas. They also demanded that Islamabad stop its policies of spreading instability in their country.
Afghanistan has witnessed war, a continuous war for the last 40 years, which most of the times are being said that there are a lot of interventions of Pakistan in the internal affairs of Afghanistan. My message to Islamabad is that by destruction or insecurity in Afghanistan, nobody will benefit.
Many shouted slogans asking Islamabad to stop intervening in the internal affairs of Kabul. Over the past 6 months, the leadership in Afghanistan has repeatedly charged Pakistan with cross-border terrorism and of funding terrorists.
Moving on to news from Nepal, members of Rashtriya Janata Party Nepal held a motorcycle rally to protest against the upcoming polls. They have threatened to continue their agitation until their demands, including constitution amendment prior to polls, is met.
Stepping up their agitation demanding constitution amendment, the members of Rashtriya Janata Party Nepal held a motorcycle rally recently. The agitators protested across Birganj city, threatening of no polls to be held in Madhya-based areas. They said polls in the region can only be held once the constitution is amended.
किसी भी हालत में मधेश में हम लोग चुनाव नहीं होने देंगे, क्योंकि हम लोग आज से नहीं, विगत के दिन से ही पहले संशोधन उसके बाद चुनाव का मांग हम लोग मांग रहे हैं। इसके लिए सैकड़ों युवा शहीद हो गए।
Meanwhile, in wake of the second phase of local level elections slated for June 28, the Nepal-India border has been sealed off for 3 days beginning from Monday. The special security arrangement has also been put in place to prevent any criminal activities and maintain peace and security.
Muslims across South Asia on Monday celebrated Eid al-Fitr, marking the end of the fasting month of Ramadan. They put on their finest clothes for their first daylight meal in a month.
Muslims across South Asia thronged mosques to offer prayers on the auspicious occasion of Eid al-Fitr on Monday, which marks the end of the holy fasting month of Ramadan. Worshippers traditionally spend the day offering prayers and visiting family and friends. The festivities involve thanksgiving, merriment and feasting, as special foods are prepared on the auspicious occasion.
30 दिन रोजे रखने के बाद जो है हमारा आज का ईद का बड़ा ही त्यौहार होता है। हर हिंदुस्तानियों को हम लोग ईद मुबारक करते हैं। भाईचारे का हमारा ये त्यौहार है और इस दिन के लिए इंतजार हम लोग बहुत करते हैं।
Similar scenes were witnessed in neighboring Pakistan and Nepal as worshippers congregated at mosques to pray together on the occasion. Devotees celebrated the festival with religious fervor. Hundreds attended special prayers at Kathmandu's Jama Masjid and wished each other. Meanwhile, in Bangladesh, hundreds of thousands of people returned to their homes, chasing overladen ferries in rowboats and jumping on the top of trains to celebrate Eid with their families. Eid al-Fitr is one of the most important days in the Islamic calendar. It is a day where Muslims express gratitude to God for the strength, will and endurance given to them, especially during Ramadan.
Thousands of devotees thronged the famous Lord Jagannath Temple in India's eastern Odisha province to take part in the annual chariot festival.
A sea of humanity converged in India's eastern Puri district as the 10-day annual chariot festival of the presiding deities of famed Lord Jagannath Temple began on Sunday. The festival commemorates the annual journey of Hindu god Jagannath, his brother and sister in specially made chariots to a temple 1.24 miles away from the Puri temple. Devotees jostled with each other to touch the 40 feet high holy chariots amid chants and beats of gongs while artists performed folk dance and acrobatics. Water was spread on the devotees to help them beat the hot and the humid weather.
कई लोग ऐसे हैं जो मंदिर के अंदर नहीं जा सकते हैं, लेकिन भगवान ने आज का दिन ऐसा नियुक्त किया है, ऐसा दर्शन जो है सभी लोगों को यहाँ पर होता है। भगवान जब जगन्नाथ जी अपने श्री मंदिर से बाहर आते हैं और सारे जितने भी श्रद्धालु हैं, भक्त हैं, उनको दर्शन देते हैं।
The district administration expects over 1 million people to join the deities in the journey. The festival will conclude on July 3.
Models walked the ramp wearing traditional Indian attire at a fashion event in entertainment capital Mumbai city. Earthy shades, shimmery outfits coupled with heavy accessories marked the collection. Well, that's all we have from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.